Review book one I want to tell about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. Highest quality of life, any age, any stage, one of her advocacy, no other than Miss Janice Goldmintz.
Hi, Danielle. How are you?
I'm fabulous, fabulous, Miss Janice, and thank you so much for being part of Book 101 review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Sure. So, my background is in gerontology, which is the study of aging. And so, I have an academic background into what the journey of aging looks like. But I think what I learned the most from is having two parents with Alzheimer's disease at various times and actually being in the thick of it and being that caregiver and being able to know firsthand what it feels like to go through that as a family, as a daughter, and as a professional. So I think I get to use my academic and my personal experience to really help my clients go through this journey and make it a little bit more peaceful and a little less stressful.
A little less stressful, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Janice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And today let's talk about successful aging. So let's start by redefining that term. What does successful aging mean to you, and how does it fundamentally differ from just aging well or simply living a long time?
So there's a difference between being alive and
Mm.
living, as far as I'm concerned. You want to have the highest quality of life no matter what the circumstance. And things are going to happen. That's just the way it is when we get older. We have physical things, it could be a cognitive thing, but successful aging really is taking advantage or being aware of how you can maximize your quality of life no matter what the circumstance is. It's having care, it's having family, it's having resources. Quality of life is the important factor here, no matter what the surrounding circumstances are. So it's about sitting down with your family long before these things happen, before you're aging, and coming up with a plan. Where would you like to live? What kinds of medical interventions would you want? What is the financial picture of how you're going to take care of yourself as you get older? Who are the people who are going to be your resources? So my thing is that the successful aging starts long before your age.
Miss Janice, what is the most common misconception or limiting belief about aging that you find yourself constantly trying to correct?
I would say it is how a lot of the medical professions see older people. I actually worked with an amazing geriatrician who used to talk about the statement, "What do you expect at your age?" And his answer as a doctor, if somebody said to him, "Well, what do you expect at my age? These things happen." His answer was always, "You should expect a lot." It doesn't matter if you're 40 or you're 80, your medical care should be at the highest level to provide the best possible care for you. And it doesn't matter what your age is. So there is ageism in the medical profession. And I think that's one of the things that hold people back from having that quality of life.
The quality of life, indeed. And Miss Janice, tell us what is or how does the concept of successful aging challenge the pervasive narrative of decline that dominates our culture view of gathering older?
Well, if you look at media, if you look on TV, if you look in movies, older people are usually portrayed as declining, they're forgetful, they're funny, they're grouchy. You don't see a lot of successful older people in movies and TV. It's changing a little bit, but it's still pervasive that youth is the desired state. My feeling is that you have to be an advocate for yourself at whatever age you're at. And again, expect the highest quality of life. Uh, People that are in their 70s, 80s, 90s can have very good cognition, can have a great quality of life, and contribute to society. Just because the retirement age used to be 65 years old, it doesn't mean that you fall off the map at that age. For a lot of people, that's just the beginning of a new cycle of life for them, where they either do another career or they're volunteering or they're contributing to their society or community in a big way. So I think having that expectation of being purposeful, having a full life is the aim. And it's not how we have in the past thought about what is aging. We thought about people on a porch on a rocking chair.
On a rocking chair. And Miss Janice, tell us mindset and emotional architecture. What are the key additional shift or mindset practice that most distinguish those who age with vitality and purpose from those who don't?
So if you think about it, you can be old at 40 and young at 80. It is all what's in between your ears. It is how do you see yourself? Do you think of yourself as vital and important and creative? Or do you think of yourself as, well, I don't remember everything, or everything is bypassing me, technology's going too quickly, and you give up? So it's a mindset of always being curious, always learning, always exploring. You know what? You may not be able to pick up every little bit of the newest technology, but so what? Lots of younger people can't do it either. So it is having the mindset of being open and curious and constantly learning. Because, as I said, at any age, when you stop learning, that's when you become complacent and you don't sort of advance yourself, and that's can hold you back.
Miss Janice, how can people cultivate a sense of purpose and relevance in later chapter, especially after major life roles have shifted?
There's lots of people who need help. There's organizations that are seniors for seniors. There are people who will go and pick up other seniors and take them to their doctor's appointments or to the hairdresser or wherever they need to go. So it's a simple thing like that that can bring you purpose. You can do it on a grander scale where you're volunteering for a large organization, and that can help everybody. That can help a lot of people. You can become more politically involved. Maybe there's something, a subject that you know a lot about, and you want to be able to share it with other people. So there's that option. There's older people who will go into libraries and read to young children. You have to be creative. You have to know what it is that's going to make you feel useful every day and have purpose. And you can continue working. There are people who continue in their careers till they're in their 80s and 90s, if that's what lights their spark. So everybody is different. There's no one answer, but you have to figure out for yourself every day what's going to make you feel like that day was valuable, that you contributed something valuable.
Valuable indeed, Miss Janice. What role does continuous curiosity and learning play in maintaining cognitive and emotional vitality? And what are the accessible ways to build this into a daily life?
I think a lot of older people grew up reading, having a book in your hand. And that's a great way to continue learning. It's a great way to do that. There's also audiobooks, there's courses, there's a lot of universities now are offering courses to older adults for free. So that's an amazing way to continue learning and get education that doesn't cost you anything. I'm sure you've also heard that to have your cognition keep in place, play games. So you're playing Wordle, you're playing Sudoku, you're playing word search, whatever it is. It's something that engages your brain to think. Something as simple as if you're right-handed, write with your left hand because your brain has to really think about how to do that. So anything that you do that is a little bit different than your normal routine, it's going to cause your brain to go, oh, that's something new. I need to figure that out. It can be something simple like that, even. Trying to think of what else. There's lots of things that stimulate your brain. Go to museums, go bird watching if that's what you like. Travel, go to places you've never been. Go to places you've never been in your own city, because I can assure you, we don't see everything in our own cities. So go and explore your city because a lot of older people now have more time to do that. So it's a great opportunity.
A great opportunity indeed. So, how do we refrain the relationship with our changing body, moving from criticism and loss to respect and adaptation?
You know, grieving, people have losses. It's just natural. And we don't think about some of the losses that people feel. And some of them are when your body is getting older and you may have a few more aches and pains, or you may not be able to run as fast as you could. And so there's grieving sort of the person you were. And that's normal and there's nothing wrong with it. But on the flip side of that, you also have to say, okay, so that's then, this is now. I want to maximize what I can do now. So it is mindset. There's a lot of getting around um, the sort of lost mentality and looking not at the glass half empty, but at the glass half full. And it's something that you have to be conscious of. You have to sometimes work at having that positive spin on things. It's not something we're taught. It's not the way we normally do things, but it can really help.
Really help indeed. So, how do you reframe the relationship without changing body, moving from criticism and loss to respect and adaptation?
As I said, I think you have to look at what you can do. You're going to look at your body is going to move slower. And we think to ourselves, oh, I wish I could do X or Y. But instead of saying, look at what I can do, look at my Z that I can do. And it's normal. It's a natural part of getting older in some ways that your body may not do everything that it used to. And you have to put that aside and just be grateful. I mean, gratitude is a really big thing that can help you understand how lucky you are. You know, how wonderful when people talk about getting old, oh, I'm getting old. It's a difference between getting old and getting older. We all want to get older, but we don't want to get old. So
Hmm.
it's everything between your ears that causes the difference between getting old and getting older.
Getting old and getting older. And we are lucky at this stage, right, Miss Janice? We are so lucky. And Miss Janice, what are your short term and long term goals?
Mine,
Yes.
mine is, you know what? I'm going to be 100 years old, and I'm going to have done everything that I possibly can to get people to understand what kind of a wonderful life they can have as they get older. How to have your family around, how to have your community to make contributions. That's really what I want to do. I want to leave the legacy of talking about aging because that's really important to me. I started in this whole thing because of my own grandmother who was in a nursing home, and watching her do nothing for years and years. She was in a bed, she was in a chair, she wasn't a vital like active participant in her life. And I said to myself, I'm not going to have that happen to my own parents. And I made sure that my parents had a lot of things there for them, resources, so that they could have the best quality of life. So I guess my goal is to leave a positive legacy and
Yes.
have some fun.
Yes, have fun, people. A legacy to the world. So, good luck to your goals, Miss Janice, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
What's my piece of advice? My piece of advice is never doubt yourself. You know, push yourself forward. You may think, oh, I don't know how to do that. So that's why we now have this wonderful internet that anything you want to do, you can go on YouTube and it's going to tell you how to do it. Oh, I want to learn how to do crypto. All right. How do I learn how to do crypto? I want to learn how to bake bread. All right. Go on the internet and look up making bread. Whatever it is that you want to do, believe me, somewhere there's instructions. Go on TikTok. It's going to tell you how to do things. Just remember that there's so many things at your fingertips to help you move forward. And the other thing that I want to say is if you need help, ask for it. We all need help at all ages. And sometimes by asking for help, it's going to move you forward even faster because somebody else may know the answer to something that you don't.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for that advice, Ms. Janice. And can you please eh, recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
I would say if you want to learn mindset, if you want to learn a positive way of seeing the world, read Jack Canfield's Success Principles. And Jack Canfield is the man with Mark David Hansen that wrote all of those Chicken Soup for the Soul books. These guys took their book to 100 publishing companies, and nobody wanted to publish these books. Well, somebody obviously took a chance on them and published it, and I think it was just world changing because learning how to deal with life's events which are going to happen is going to be able to, for you to have a more peaceful, joyful, creative life. And I actually loved it so much that I went through his courses and became one of his trainers. So that's how much I actually believed in what I read.
Thank you for that recommended book, Miss Janice. And what is the most exciting innovation or emerging trend, tech or community design or medicine that gives you hope for the future of aging?
I keep reading a lot about non-invasive, non-chemical ways of treating cancer and how cancer they're on the brink of having that kind of thing not be as devastating. So cancer research for me is amazing. Also research on dementias, Alzheimer's disease, finding how it happens and then being able to figure out how to stop it from happening. I've seen so many people's lives devastated by Alzheimer's disease that it makes me very hopeful that there are things out there that may make it that it won't be a problem in a number of years. So I'm very hopeful to see those things happen.
Yes, likewise, Miss Janice. Hopeful, hopeful indeed. And if we as we culture truly embrace a model of successful aging, how would it transform our workplaces, urban design, and media representation of older adults?
So if we had a more positive view of aging, I think people would not feel pushed out of their jobs at 65. First of all, the economic um, need as we live older, we need to have income longer so that we can maintain a lifestyle. So if aging is happening at a greater rate where people are getting older and being vital and productive, workplaces have to be aware that people may not leave their jobs at a certain age, that they want to continue on and that they bring value to the organization. I think we have to be more aware that there are the children of the aging parents who may have a whole bunch of balls up in the air. They're taking care of their parents, they're taking care of their own family, they want to be able to take care of themselves, they want to have a quality of life for themselves. And workplaces may need to look at being a little bit more flexible in how they can accommodate children of aging parents to be able to have some of those balls stay up in the air so that those employees or staff can stay healthy mentally and physically and emotionally.
And Miss Janice, how can we plan for approach the final stage of life with agency and clarity, making our wishes known and ensuring our values guide our care?
So that again, don't wait until the end of your life to do that. These are conversations to have when you're healthy, to sit down as a family and say, okay, if something happened, what would you want? Would you want artificial nutrition? Would you want artificial hydration? Would you want heroic things done to you? If you pass away, would you want this kind of funeral or that kind of funeral? Would you want to live in your home or would you want to go to a retirement residence or a long-term care? You know, what are the things that would make you happy? And know that today you can tell me what you want, and maybe 5 years from now, what you want may change. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's an ongoing conversation, but you want to be aware of those things so that if something should happen, somebody has a power of attorney, you have a living will, so that nobody questions, well, what would mom or dad want? It's in paper, it's ready to be used if needed, and that somebody knows where this information is. I have heard a number of times that people have powers of attorney, but their kids don't know where it is, so they can't use it if they don't know where it is.
Yeah, and thank you for that empowering answer, Ms. Janice. And what does it mean to do our inner work later in life, addressing old wounds, making amends, or finding forgiveness?
I think that that's not uh, dependent on age. I think we all need to do that because the more we let go of those old wounds and things, the more you're going to have a joyful life. I think what you learn when you get older is that some of the things that when you're young you think are just the worst thing ever. If you think about it, 5 years from now, is this going to matter? In 10 years from now, is this going to matter? And half the time, it doesn't, or more than half the time. It just, if you really think about what we stress about, ha- it's not even important the next day or the next week, let alone 10 years from now. So if we really took a minute to think before we jumped to a conclusion or held a grudge or said that is, I can't believe that person did whatever that was, and think really in the scheme of things, how is that going to change my life? It actually leads me to another book that uh, really addresses this problem that I think is fantastic, which is Mel Robbins' Let Them. You know what? If somebody wants to not be nice, let them. I have the choice of who I want to have in my life. And if other people want to act in a certain way, that's up to them. I have my boundaries. I get to choose who is in my inner circle. And I keep the people in my inner circle that I feel are going to be supportive and beneficial and a positive influence. So again, we have the control over that.
Miss Janice, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 third season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101, our fourth season, science 101, sex 101, and second season, and my baby podcast Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Janice, tell us, for someone who is apprehensive about aging, what is the one peaceful of hope or piece of hopeful, evidence based insight you would offer to change their perspective?
The thing is, this is a Jack Canfield thing. We have no control. We're all going to get older. It's just what it is. So you might as well enjoy it. You might as well take advantage of it because, we can't stop it. And I find it funny when people are asked their age and they want to portray themselves as younger. The truth is, you should be so happy to be whatever age you're at because there's lots of people who don't make it to your age. And it's not about the number, it's about how you lived your life at that age. So my advice to people is just live fully, like live your life to the best ability that you can. Enjoy it, make yourself surrounded by people who are positive influences for you. Go out and change the world in whatever little way you can. And then and then life becomes a bowl of cherries, as they used to say. Then it becomes enjoyable. Every day you wake up and you're like, what am I going to do today? How am I going to make the world different? How am I going to get out there and have fun?
Yes, have fun, Miss Janice. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you for empowering us and hoping for more and more empowering advocacy about aging will rise through you. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your projects, or anything you want to promote on Book 101?
So if you are visiting your family because holidays are coming up and you want a checklist to make sure that everything is okay with your family, because sometimes we don't see red flags that are in front of us. I'm happy to send you my family visit checklist. Just email me at janice@talkaboutaging.com and I'll be very happy to send it. And then after you use it, if you have questions or concerns, again, reach out to me. My contact information is in that checklist, and I'm happy to help you because sometimes we don't even know what we don't.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Janice Goldmintz because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering aging advocacy to rise. So, Miss Janice, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Danielle.
Modicon people, see you soon.